Hey everyone, welcome to my first Reddit Stories video. Today we've got some wild drama, relationship disasters, and tough choices. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the first story.
My husband and I just got married a couple of months ago, and everything was supposed to be perfect. But one of my cousins has convinced herself that he's secretly in love with her just because of one song at the wedding. What started as a simple family celebration has now turned into a complete nightmare. I'm 29 and I got married to my husband, James. He's 33, just a little over 2 months ago. We had a small wedding. I've got a big family, but I only invited about half of them. One cousin, Mira, I almost didn't invite. She was going through a rough time, recently divorced after her husband cheated on her, so I figured inviting her might lift her spirits a bit. The wedding went smoothly. We even did a cute little segment where we each dedicated a song to one another. The one James picked was Adore You by Harry Styles, which, by the way, is one of his favorite songs. But apparently, Mira took that very personally. Because of one line in the song, the part that says brown skin and lemon over ice. Mira somehow decided James wasn't dedicating it to me, but to her. Yes, because she has darker skin than I do. And in her mind, that was her proof. Ever since the wedding, she's been telling people that James and I are just a cover, that she's the one he's really in love with. This man had only met her once before the wedding, 4 years ago, at Thanksgiving. They said hi. That's it. She starts posting poorly photoshopped pictures of herself with James. She took photos from the wedding, cropped me out, and started putting them online like they were a couple. We both told her to stop. She blocked me and ignored him. Then it gets even worse. My family starts taking sides. The relatives I didn't invite to the wedding are like, "This is karma for not inviting us." My cousins all think Mira's lost it. And some of my aunts and uncles are saying I should just ignore her. Ignore her? She's out here acting like she's married to my husband. And then Friday happens. She shows up at James's job with lunch, walks right in and tells everyone she's his girlfriend. The best part? A bunch of his coworkers actually know me. Some of them were at the wedding, so it caused a whole scene. At this point, James and I are just stunned. It's so ridiculous that it almost doesn't feel real. We've told her to stop, we've tried reasoning with her, and nothing is working. I have no idea what I do in this situation. Legal action? Restraining order? Family intervention? What do you think? How would you handle a cousin who's convinced herself your husband's in love with her? Because this is next level crazy.
That was a wild one, but this next story shows how a dream vacation can turn into a total nightmare. Story number two.
My boyfriend and I planned a 2 week getaway, a trip we'd been saving for and looking forward to for months. But what was supposed to be a romantic vacation quickly spiraled into disaster. A bad sunburn turned into sun poisoning, and honestly, it made me see him in a way I never had before. I'm a 26-year-old woman and I've been dating my boyfriend, he's 27, for almost a year. We only made things official this past July, and honestly, earlier in the year, I was really falling for him. He checked all my boxes, and everything felt exciting and new. For some context, he still lives with his mom. Back in June, we decided to book a 2 week vacation together for August. To save money, we didn't go out much that month. I was really looking forward to this trip. It was supposed to be a big milestone for us. But things started to get shaky even before we left. He had a big work deadline coming up. procrastinated badly, and ended up canceling plans to help me move. And not a day or two in advance. He texted me an hour before. I tried to be understanding, but I was disappointed. He also admitted that he's always struggled with deadlines, back in school and even now at work. Maybe it's a bit judgmental of me, but I want a partner who's responsible and organized. That was the first red flag. Then the trip starts, and it's a disaster right from day one. We arrive on the island, and almost immediately, he starts getting jealous because I mentioned meeting my new neighbor back home, a guy my age. He tells me he doesn't trust me being alone in my own apartment. That already made things awkward. Day two, he spends all day in the sun and doesn't reapply sunscreen. Day three, it catches up to him. His sunburn was so bad, he could barely put a shirt on without wincing. And by that night, he had actual sun poisoning. He had a fever, a pounding headache, and blisters all over his back. On top of that, he got hit with nonstop diarrhea. And yes, it was as bad as it sounds. Meanwhile, I had to sit alone on tours, eat alone at restaurants, and watch our entire trip fall apart because he didn't take basic care of himself in the sun. He kept making jokes like, "My mom won't let me outside again." But honestly, I couldn't laugh. I just kept thinking, "You're 27. How do you not know how to handle this?" The sun poisoning lasted the entire trip. He was miserable, I was frustrated, and the romantic getaway I'd been looking forward to was completely gone. When we got back home, I needed space. He apologized and said he felt awful, but it wasn't just about the trip anymore. I realized I'd lost attraction. I couldn't shake off the image of him acting helpless and irresponsible. To make it worse, he admitted he'd pretended to have extra money for excursions and then asked me to pay him back after the trip, even though I'd told him we should keep things simple. I've never broken up with anyone before, but deep down, I know he's not the one for me. So, what would you do in this situation? Is it fair to end things after seeing how someone handles a mess like this? Or is that too harsh?
From vacation disasters to relationship reality checks. Story number 3 is when being sick reveals who really cares.
I thought my husband would always be there for me, especially when I needed him the most. But the night I got really sick and passed out on the floor, he didn't help. He just went to bed. And the next morning, he was the one who was mad at me. That moment changed everything I thought I knew about our marriage. We've been married for a few years and have a baby. We had relationship issues after the baby, but I thought we had resolved them. He promised he would be better, and honestly, he did improve in some ways. He started doing his share around the house, and chores weren't a big issue. He would just do what needed to be done without complaints or comments. But something in the back of my head always felt off. I never explored that nagging feeling. I didn't have proof, just a quiet discomfort. Now I realize he's never shown me extra care. If anything, when I inconvenience him in any way, he gets easily frustrated or annoyed. I don't know how I missed it before. 2 days ago, I started feeling sick. My body had that gross, thick skin feeling. I felt dizzy and lightheaded, and by nighttime, I was shivering. I could still function, so I didn't think it was that serious. I told my husband I wasn't feeling well, then we went to sleep. The next morning, I woke up feeling like my bones were made of lead. I honestly don't know how I made it through the day. It felt like I was running on autopilot. I worked from my phone before my baby woke up, then took my sister to school, came back home, and worked some more. Normally, I can flip between mom duties and work, but that day, I just lay on the floor to work while my 1-year-old watched Miss Rachel. Later, I picked my sister up from school and made dinner. By the time my husband got home, I felt dead on my feet. Everything was so heavy. I told him several times how awful I felt. We ate dinner. I put away the leftovers. I put the baby to sleep. He went into his office to do some quick work. After that, everything is blurry. I remember being in his office, exchanging a few words, but I don't remember what. The next thing I knew, I woke up alone on the floor of his office. I felt so weak, dizzy, out of it. It took a lot of effort just to get up. When I finally made it to the kitchen, everything was dark. The lights were off, the kitchen was untouched, and he was in bed. I just stood there and it hit me. He didn't care. He didn't check on me. He didn't help. He just went to bed while I was passed out on the floor. And I knew he wasn't going to clean the kitchen tomorrow. He didn't care that I was sick and I had a busy day planned. So I loaded the dishwasher. Then I went to bed. 5 minutes later, he angrily told me to turn off the kitchen lights. I didn't have the energy to fight. I ignored him and fell asleep. This morning, I woke up covered in sweat, but the awful feeling was gone. That's when I fully realized how sick I had been. And then I noticed he was angry. He was stomping around, avoiding me, refusing to talk. When I asked about yesterday, he grumbled something about me confusing him. Everything from yesterday and honestly, the past few years crashed down on me. I realized he's never taken care of me. Every time I've been sick, it's the same thing. Somehow, it's always my fault. After I had the baby, he got mad that the house wasn't kept perfectly. When I fainted 2 weeks postpartum from exhaustion, he yelled at me, said it was my fault for not taking care of myself. And just days before that, he was mad about laundry and the kitchen, complaining about smells and not wanting to cook. He never once woke up at night with the baby. All of those moments hit me like a train, and now I feel disgusted. How did I not see it before? What do I even do now? He just texted me saying he's beat and could barely brush his teeth this morning. I don't even know how to respond. I can't believe I've taken care of this man every time he's been sick, even after 2 surgeries. And when I needed him, he left me passed out on the floor.
And finally, our last story of the day, a man still loves his wife but doesn't recognize the person she's become.
For 20 years, my wife was the most beautiful woman in the world to me. But over the last few years, one cosmetic procedure after another has slowly turned her into someone I don't even recognize. I still love her deeply, but what happens when the person you love changes right in front of your eyes? I am no longer attracted to my wife after a lot of cosmetic surgery. How do I move forward? We've been together for 20 years and have built a great life together. To me, she has always been the most beautiful woman in the world. I never so much as looked at another woman, and there wasn't a single thing I would have changed about her. About 5 years ago, she started getting Botox. I didn't think she needed it, but it's her body, her choice. Not long after, I noticed her smile wasn't the same. Her whole face didn't light up the way it used to. Her smile looked fake and forced. But she seemed happier, so I kept quiet. Then she asked me what I thought of lip fillers. I told her honestly, I didn't like them. I thought her lips were perfect already, but she got them done anyway. And I'll be honest, from that moment, kissing her felt different. It felt like I was kissing someone else. After the lips came cheek fillers. Then she had a nose job, even though I begged her not to. I know it's wrong to try to control someone else's body. I really do. But at that point, I wasn't looking at the woman I fell in love with anymore. Then she did something to her eyes, some kind of procedure that made them look cat-like. And the most recent one was a breast augmentation. She went from a natural, perfect B cup to an F. During all this, her weight also dropped. She went from about 10 and a half stone, 147 pounds, down to 8 stone, 112 pounds. On top of that, her makeup changed completely from what it was 5 years ago. I feel awful admitting this, but she just doesn't look like my wife anymore. I know I've changed too. My hair isn't what it once was. I obviously look older than when we first got together. But it's not just about looks, it's about feeling like I've lost the woman I knew. I don't even know where the need to change came from. Everything in her life was going well. She had a good job. We were in a good place together. She used to have a big following on social media, and a simple selfie would get over 1,000 likes. She never craved that kind of attention and was usually embarrassed by it. But now, her followers have dropped, and her recent selfies barely get any likes. That's started to upset her. When I ask her why she's felt the need to change so much, she just says she wasn't happy with how she looked. And in her head, she genuinely thinks she looks better now. I gently suggested therapy once, but that didn't go over well. She's started asking me lately why I don't want sex as much anymore. I've been making excuses, saying I'm tired, getting older, not in the mood. But the truth is, my physical attraction to her has faded. Not because of who she is, but because she looks like a different person now. Yesterday, she told me that if things don't change in the next month, she wants to open the relationship. And here's the part that shocked me the most. I actually felt a wave of relief when she said that. I know how terrible that sounds, but it's the truth. I still love who she is as a person. If it came down to a choice between staying with her and never having sex again, or losing her and having a full sex life with someone else, I'd stay with her. My life would feel empty without her in it. But the physical attraction, that's where I'm stuck. Can I train myself to be attracted again? Do I try to force myself into it just to make things work? Or am I just lying to both of us if I do that? I don't have the answers. All I know is that she's still my wife, but she's not the woman I fell in love with.
And that wraps up today's Reddit stories. Which one shocked you the most? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next story time.